Good morning. Welcome to the Church of St. Petersburg. We're not quite starting yet, but now is a good time to fill these out. These are cards in front of you that say joys and sorrows, or joys, sorrows, and concerns. So if you want to fill these out, if you have a joy, if you have a sorrow, and parents, if you have kids, please ask them what their joys, their sorrows, their concerns are. They can write them, or if they don't write, you can write them, take dictation. We're especially interested, since this week is an all-ages service, in what the joys, sorrows, and concerns are of our children. So yes, so one sec, I don't know who that is. Hey, I don't remember what I was going to say. It's good to have you here. What's up? Oh, they're in the front. They're in the front of the pew. You want mine?
Good morning. Ooh, I love seeing all y'all here. All right, so welcome in both the sanctuary and online to the Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg on the unceded lands of the Tocobaga and Seminole Native Americans. My name is Allison Lockey. My pronouns are she, her. I'm chair of the worship team and Nora's mom.
Good morning, Allison. My name is Ben, Reverend Ben Atherton-Zeman. It's my honor to be the settled minister here. My pronouns are he and they, and today's worship service is very exciting for me. It's called Living in Harmony, Easier Sung Than Done. And that's our guest performer, David Roth. David will be doing most of the work here, and I get to sit down and listen. We will have a view of the pew from our own Pat Fling, who is sitting near the front there. She is. Thank you, Pat. And you have already met today's worship associate, Allison. Now, if you want a church where we welcome people of all genders, where we support leaders who speak truth to power, like Bishop Marianne Buddy, then I have good news. You may have found your church home.
We have one announcement today. There will be a free class on the history of this congregation and its current practices from noon until 2 here in the sanctuary. Thank you all for putting your phones in worship mode. For more announcements, please see your order of service, the monthly newsletter, and on the TV in Gilmore during coffee hour.
Now, as Unitarian Universalists, we are people of diverse beliefs, but we do share a common faith that every being is worthy of love, that what we do in this world matters, and that we are connected to one another and to the earth. So whoever you are, wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome here.
Allow me to give a special welcome to any newcomers. If you are new to UU St. Pete or even relatively new, can you give us a wave? Oh my gosh, hi! you came on a really fun Sunday, like, awesome. So if you want to introduce yourself, go ahead and put your hands up. I promise most of us don't bite, and Ben will bring over the microphone.
Do you really want to introduce yourself, even though you've been here a long time, Isabella? Yeah, you do. Talk into it. You're done. That's Isabella, everyone.
Hi, my name is Laurel Peterson. My husband and I are down from Safety Harbor today. I grew up in the Unitarian Church, and we are just still checking out all the churches in the area since we moved here.
Hi, I'm Zoe. I've been here only once before, and I just felt like I needed more spirituality and community in my life, so I wanted to try it out again.
Welcome, Zoe.
Hi, I'm Susie, and I'm from Clearwater, Safety Harbor area. This is probably my third time here, and I'm sort of looking for a place where I can merge my all of my beliefs together in one place, if I can put it that way.
Anybody else? I saw a lot of hands earlier. That's okay. Everybody who's normally here, make sure you find the people with hands and say hi later on. So, and speaking of which, now is the time to greet your neighbor. Please get consent if you want to give someone a hug or shake their hand.
Oh, Emily. And then who's the Stones? Katie. Great.
Hello, everybody. So this is a time for all ages service. We will not be singing the kids to their classrooms today. If you have any young children or children with some excess energy, you are welcome to send them over to the nursery, which is open. Now would probably be a good time to bring them over to the nursery if you would like. Otherwise, our older kids and our teens, we're including you in today's service.
Yes, all ages services happen every fourth Sunday, and we always welcome the joyful sound that children make in the sanctuary. And we have neurodivergent adults too, and guess what? We have toys for you as well. They're out in the back on the left. There's plenty of fidget toys and things like that. Our opening hymn is by David Roth.
Hey, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be back here. This is a very easy song to learn on the spot, so all you have to do is look at the person on either side of you right now and say, I can't wait to hear you sing. Just do that for me, would you? Goes like this. I am here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all. I am here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all. Try it with me. I am here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all. I am here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all. You are here. You are here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all. You are here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all. We are here. We are
Please rise
here
as you're willing and
for
able.
the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all. We are here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all. I am here. Let's hear ya. We are here. We are here for the greater good of all, greater good of all, the greater good of all. We are here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all.
Please remain standing for our chalice lighting. Our flaming chalice is a reminder that we choose to focus together for this time and that we believe such time is sacred. When Emily Jacobson lights the chalice, I invite you to say our covenant out loud. It's printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of search, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. You may be seated.
This would be time for all ages, correct?
Yes.
Excellent. Does anybody fit in that category, all ages? Excellent. Well, this is a song for all of us, and I had the opportunity to go back to New York City 2 years ago, where I used to live in the 1980s, and I started writing all these songs. And I was invited to the Village Trip Festival of Arts and Activism to do a songwriting workshop with first to third graders, my peer group. And we came up with a song in 1 hour, and I've been singing it ever since. And the question that I asked these 6 to 8-year-olds was, do you think this is a beautiful world? You know, amidst all the complications going on, even 2 years ago, right up until, current events, if you would. And 201, they said, oh yeah, this is a beautiful world. So we came up with a chorus, which you can sing along. I might make up a verse or two here or there, and I'm going to sing one of the choruses in Serbian, because we have hosted Eastern European college students in our home on Cape Cod who don't have any place to live when they're working at all the jobs that none of the other kids are wanting to do, the Starbucks and the gardening and the restaurants and the hotels. So we've got kids from Turkey and Serbia and Kazakhstan and Albania. We love these kids, they're great. And I learned this chorus in Serbian, so that's an extra bonus, no extra charge today, all right? And Tim is gonna join me on the piano. Please raise your voice with us, and it's a very simple chorus that goes like this. One beautiful world, one beautiful world, plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world. Let me hear you sing real loud now. One beautiful world, let me hear you know it's one beautiful world, plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world. Oh, John and James are here. Ben and Tim are too, doing a song they've never heard before and bringing more beauty to you, because it's one beautiful world. Oh yes it is, I tell you, one beautiful world, plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world. Here's what the kids wrote. Oh, I'd like to take more naps in the world, more toys, more dogs, more cats, more ostriches, more smiles on giraffes. Today's a good day to wear a hat, because it's one beautiful world. Oh yes it is, I tell ya, one beautiful world, plants and animals. Here's my 6-year-old verse. What will we do to step up? What will it take to calm down? When will we know we're all we've got? We are walking each other home in one beautiful world. One beautiful world. Plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world. Watch out now. Serbian, jedan prelepe svet. Do that with me. Jedan prelepe svet. I'll take the next one. Bielka djevutnia tečazi devojčice. Jedan prelepe svet, which happens to mean one beautiful world. One beautiful world. Plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful. One more time, let's do it a cappella. One beautiful world. One beautiful world. Plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world. Plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world. Plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world.
Thank you, David. We want want to invite our children and anyone who wants to help our children to collect. Katie, do you feel like pulling the wagon and collecting the food donations that folks have brought for the Friday Sunset Supper? Thank you all for bringing donations. Some of you are looking like I was supposed to bring donations. It's fine. You can bring them here. We serve the Sunset Supper every Friday. Now would also be a good time to hand up joys, sorrows, and concerns. Because that's what we're doing next, is joys, sorrows, and concerns. Now, I know that many of you are on YouTube Live. I have not forgotten you. You're not here, but your presence is felt. Please type your joys, sorrows, and concerns into the text chat. And
if you have a joy, sorrow, or concern to submit during the week, please write to Reverend Ben at minister@uustpete.org. Since today is an all-ages service, the older children will stay in the sanctuary, and we encourage children today and going forward to submit joys and concerns. So right now, Katie will place a stone in the water for each one that was submitted this week. If you have additional cards that you filled out to bring up, please do so at this time, or ask a neighbor to bring yours up for you.
You want to do Danny's, the first one?
So first, a stone of sorrow from Danny Bly. Danny's little cousin has been admitted into the hospital after an epileptic episode that went horribly awry. Danny's mind is swimming and their heart is hurting. Life is so fragile.
Next, a stone of joy from Debbie Polis Carter and several others. Leonard Peltier is free. He was pardoned on the last day of Biden's presidency. He's actually in Florida, which I didn't know, and he is coming home soon.
There's also a stone of concern from Debbie Polis Carter. Debbie says, my best friend's husband, Gary, has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma after many misdiagnoses. They moved to a small town in Maine years ago, so are now faced with not only this diagnosis, but with having to drive all the way to Boston for treatment. Please send prayers and healing to them both.
Will do, Debbie. A stone of joy from Pat Fling. 6 out of our 7 Board of Trustee members have made their pledge of support for next year. The 7th is going to make their pledge in February. So Pat says, thank you, Trish Birch, Danny Bly, Dana Foster, Kelly Patton, Claudia Sunman, and Todd Wellman for making your pledges.
So in each week, we do want to appreciate some of the many volunteers who work to carry out our mission. This week, we have a stone of joy for William Cohen, who has been painstakingly repairing and polishing our pews and the other woodwork here in the sanctuary. Thank you very much, William.
Is William here? Thank you, William. Stone of joy from Rachel Williams for the fragile peace in Gaza, and a stone of sorrow for the never-ending death and violence in other parts of Palestine. And I'll add on to that from Ann Decker, a stone of sorrow, the Palestinians of the West Bank, who will be wiped out by Netanyahu and Trump with impunity. Another nail in the Palestinian coffin.
We also have a stone of concern at the harmful executive orders coming from the White House this week, including one that says there are only 2 genders. This is a dangerous attempt to erase those of us who are trans, non-binary, and intersex.
And then a stone of joy because they worded it wrong. They tied gender to the moment of conception instead of birth, and since all human embryos develop female sex organs until 6 weeks of gestation, that means we're all now legally female. So congratulations to my fellow females.
So now we have a stone of sorrow from Danny Bly on the loss of their beloved cat, Baloo. She embraced the big sleep surrounded by love. Little Baloo will be sorely missed.
A stone of joy from Russ and Ron for Tim Burnaman's socks. Rainbow socks.
We have a stone of concern from Ann Decker for all of us. 140 criminals from Florida were pardoned by Trump from the insurrection, January 6th insurrection. 40 from the Tampa Bay area. Be alert and protect this community.
A stone of joy from Donna Starr. On a day when our car broke down far from our house and we needed help, we turned to Uber. Our driver, Christian, was a wonderful, could have been a druid as well, was a wonderful gift to us, sharing his story of being a depressed 300-plus pound young man during COVID and then waking up to wanting more for himself and finding the personal strength within to do that.
I now have a joy from April. Both of her sisters are here today.
Oh, hey, April's sisters.
Okay.
That's
And
all I
I
have.
one last one.
Yeah.
So I have a joy from Azariah. I got another bike. Mine was stolen, but God provided another one.
Yes. Great, Azariah. Katie, if you can put one more stone in there, and that's for the joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts. Maybe they're too tender to be spoken aloud or to be written down.
So let us now read our responsive reading. You can find it in your order of service. May our hearts not become calloused by the never-ending incidences of oppression and hatred that so many face each day. Rather may we keep our hearts open to the positive efforts of so many people causing good trouble in the world.
May we have the strength to demand and gain the right for all people to have a safe place to sleep, health care to keep them strong, and the knowledge that their lives matter.
The struggle is taking longer than it should, but we will get there if we continue to strive for basic human rights.
May all of us find a comforting and compassionate presence in the warmth of fellowship and community. The mystery it is, amen indeed. Amen, ashe, blessed be. Because the mystery is we're together even when we feel apart. So let's rejoice in this fellowship, which makes of the many one. And let's take about a minute of silence together.
Blow in the wind.
as our Pat Fling makes her way up, I think I had the unique position to see two of our young people doing a dance to Spirit of Life. I think they were cats during the dance. It was kind of like this. It was lovely. Thank you.
Those who know me well know that I'm a planner. I plan ahead for important parts of my life, like friendships and health, and even for the less important parts, like dinner and lunch. I make lists of books to read and movies to watch. So it's natural for me to plan my annual giving to those areas that are important to my life, our church, environmental groups, and others. I usually start thinking about my budget and planning for giving at the end of each calendar year. I review what I gave the previous couple years and make plans for the year ahead. Yeah, I know that sometimes the unexpected happens. Sometimes we have natural or man-made disasters. A friend who lost everything in the hurricane flooding has been staying with me on and off as she is still homeless. So what inspires me to give generously to our church is the joy I feel from being part of a community of friends who share my values of justice and love, who understand that being a feminist is something to be proud of, who share my outrage at the climate crisis, who read and discuss deeply about the issues of the day, being a part of a UU community where I can speak up about my political beliefs without whispering, being part of a UU community where we are trying to understand our racism and become anti-racist, where we are working to treat each other with dignity and respect when we disagree, where some of us feed the unhoused regularly, where some of us safeguard women seeking abortions, where we have banners outside our building and inside our sanctuary affirming our beliefs in justice for all, where we aren't expected to think or believe alike, a place with a sense of humor that doesn't take ourselves too seriously, like the socks, and a place that believes all this, remembers my name, and seems happy to see me. So that's why I give generously to our church, and I encourage you to do so too.
What a treat for me to be surrounded by these angelic singers. While they're gathering, I'm still stewing over Tim's socks. You got a joy for that. Does it count that I'm wearing a pair of my mom's compression stockings? I am. As we come around to take our places at the table, a moment to remember and reflect upon our wealth. Here's to loving friends and family, and here's to being able to gather here together in good company and health. And may we be released from all those feelings that would harm us. May we have the will to give them up and get them gone. For heavy are those satchels full of anger and false promise. May we have the strength to put them down. And may the light of love be shining deep within your spirit. May the torch of mercy clear the path and show the way. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you every day. And may we wish the best for everyone that we encounter. May we swallow pride and may we do away with fear. For it's only what we do not know that we have grown afraid of, and only what we do not choose to hear. May the light of love be shining deep within your spirit. May the torch of mercy clear the path and show the way. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you every day. And as we bless our daily bread and drink our day's libations, may we be reminded of the lost and wayward soul, the hungry and the homeless that we have in every nation. May we fill each empty cup and bowl. May nothing ever come between or threaten to divide us. May we never take for granted all the gifts that we receive, being ever mindful of the unseen hands that guide us and the miracles that cause us to believe. May the light of love be shining deep within your spirit. May the torch of mercy clear the path and show the way. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you every day. Wow. I still have the echoes of Dr. King's celebration last weekend, and I'd like to open with some of his words. This sermon and song called Living in Harmony, Easier Sung Than Done. Dr. King said, "Power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice. And justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love." This is the year for making changes. This is the year for moving on. This is the year of overcoming. This is the year for growing strong. And this is the year for a new way of thinking. This is the year for making plans. This is the year for reaching out, and this is the year for joining hands. Gone all the lonely nights of yearning, gone all the dark and cloudy skies, all the unsteady bridges burning, all of the doubt and all the lies. And this is the chance to recapture the power. This is the time to abandon the fear. This is the moment, finest hour. This is the year, this is the year. And this is the year that I put into action all my desires and all of my means. And this is the year that I follow my passion. And this is the year of my dreams. This is the year I'm letting go of trying to change the ones I love. This is the year I turn it over. This is the year I look above. And this is the year that I take my intention, turn it away from distraction and talk. This is the year I take the step, and this is the year I walk the walk. This is the year that I put into action all my desires and all of my means. This is the year that I follow my passion. And this is the year of my dreams. This is the year I make it happen. This is the year I follow through. This is the year I move ahead on all of the things I want to do. And this is the chance to renew my commitment. This is the time to be conscious and clear. And this is the moment for living fully. This is the year. This is the There are more loving people in this world than those noisy ones on my TV. I must use discretion and prudence before I engage with that one-eyed thief. The din can be deafening, the volume so high, repetition starts to make it sound real. And if I am not paying attention, I start to doubt how I feel. Imagine what happens when I'm willing to listen and hear. Imagine what happens when kindness engages with fear. Volume doesn't equal consensus, and shouting is a red flag to me. A softer approach to hard subjects may bring on the change that I wish to see. Oh, I will not chew on those sound bites. There's more to the stories I read, and I am not buying the message that is sponsored by power and greed. Imagine what happens when I'm willing to listen and hear. Imagine what happens when kindness engages with fear. Alarming and chilling, unwilling and cold, that's the tone of these desperate days. Disarming and human and willing and bold is my tenor for turning to grace. There are more loving people in this world than I might be led to believe. I won't be distracted from trusting and move forward to give and receive. The din can be deafening, the volume so high, I won't be seduced by that noise. I am ready to act with my conscience and remember that I make my choices. Imagine what happens when I'm willing to listen and hear. Imagine what happens when kindness engages with fear. Are you willing to listen and hear? Imagine what happens when kindness engages with fear. Thank you so much. That's a newer song, but I kind of went through the 3 ages of Dave there. Because is anybody hearing me live for the first time today? Yeah, that's most people. That's about average everywhere I go. Because I became a folk singer thanks to the FBI. You know, they gave me this identity and this career to guarantee permanent obscurity. So no one will ever find me unless you find your way to your search for a deeper truth somehow by coming to this beautiful community. So this is a triple-chambered ocarina. The origin of this instrument is from Peru hundreds of years ago, but this is a modern mutation. And I've had this piece of clay for 40 years. It's 40 years ago that I got this. When I heard about it, I was living in New York City, and I was in a singing workshop in the tombs of the Cathedral of St. John's of the Divine on the Upper East Side. It's a beautiful place. It was total darkness. We were all singing down there, and all of a sudden we heard this sound. And when the lights came on, we all had 2 questions. What was that? Where do I get one? So this was back in the days of my 5th floor walk-up and a rotary phone with a curly cord. Younger people, ask anybody else here what those are, and they'll tell you how you can actually operate one of those phones. And I began calling. I found a woman in Berkeley, California named Sharon who made triple ocarinas, but she was getting older and had arthritis in her hands. So she had an apprentice in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Boston. And I was living in New York. I took a 5-hour bus ride up there, and I met with Kathy Ty. And after we talked for about 2 hours, this was the first one she had made, and she said, "I think you're supposed to have this one, David." You know. And I said, "I'd be honored." And she says, "I kind of knew that when you walked in, because when I was making this, I didn't know you, but I put your face on it, so." And this is about how I feel these days with what's going on in the world. You know, it's like, what? So I've had this for 40 years. And then this is the year for making changes. Some people say, "Wow, did you just write that song?" 35 years ago. I haven't changed a word. And I recall last year was the 75th anniversary of my hero and a mentor and someone I got to sing a little bit with, a guy named Pete Seeger, who co-wrote a song in 1949. It was a little jingle you may have heard of over the years. In 1949, it was 75 years old last year. It was something called "If I Had a Hammer." And Pete, as anybody, would be proud of writing a song like that. For me, it's on the Mount Rushmore of folk songs. But he would also ask, "Gosh, 75 years later, do we still need to sing this song? Really? And no end in sight? No end in sight?" And so I say the same thing about this is the year for making changes. 35 years and counting, you know, but I'll keep singing as long as I feel it's important to me. And that's why I do this. I know that some people take joy and meaning from my work, but I'm really doing it to find my voice in the world, you know, where silence once felt safer when I was a kid growing up with kind of a crazy family. But that's another Sunday. Actually, that's like a month-long workshop. So. And they did the best they could. So living in harmony, how do we live in harmony? How do I live in harmony? I'm not going to we all over you today. I'm going to speak in the first person. And I recall an old song of mine that I've been singing for years too, but I've just brought it back recently. It's a beautiful example of how you can take a different look at a paradigm. In this case, let's call it competition, and wrap your mind around something that flies in the face of it in order to find harmony, okay? This is based on a true story. The athletes had come from all over the country to run for the gold, for the silver and bronze, and many the weeks and the months of their training, and all coming down to these games. The spectators gathered around the old field for cheering on all these young women and men. And the final event of the day was approaching. Excitement grew high to begin. The blocks were all lined up for those who would use them. The 100-yard dash was the race to be run. There were 9 resolved athletes in back of the starting line, poised for the sound of the gun. And the signal was given, the pistol exploded, and so did the runners, all charging ahead. But the smallest among them, he stumbled and staggered, and fell to the asphalt instead. He gave out a cry in frustration and anguish, his dreams and his efforts all dashed in the dirt. But as sure as I'm standing here telling this story, the same goes for what next occurred. The 8 other runners pulled up on their heels, the ones who had trained for so long to compete. And one by one they all turned round and they went back to help him. They brought that young boy to his feet. Then all the 9 runners joined hands and continued the 100-yard dash, now reduced to a walk. And a banner above that said Special Olympics could not have been more on the mark. For that's how the race ended, with 9 gold medals. Came to the finish line holding hands still, and a standing ovation and 9 beaming faces said more than these words ever will. That's how the race ended, with 9 gold medals. Came to the finish line holding hands still, and a banner above that said Special Olympics said more than these words ever will. So much more than these words ever will. I'd like to get 2 more songs in, so I'm going to do like FM radio, less talk and more music. But I want to read a fan letter that poured in 14 years ago for you new people. Anyone who's ever heard me before has heard me reading this for 14 years at every single appearance, and they only take delight in watching new people's reaction to a 9-year-old's reaction to being dragged to one of my concerts by her parents, who were old friends of mine. So here is 9-year-old Alana Baldwin writing the great report, which has a brilliant title. It's called David Roth. Okay, it was for school, what they did that weekend. David Roth is my hero. Didn't see that coming. Because he writes songs, great singer, guitar player, and sang at my parents' wedding, which I did. David Roth writes funny songs and inspiring songs. The funny songs make people that are even down in the dumps laugh. His inspiring songs like Yes We Can, Practice Makes Progress. If you said perfect, see me at the CD table after the service. Okay, I'll give you a cookie. I will. I've got some cookies over there. His inspiring songs like Yes We Can, Practice Makes Progress, and some others make me have confidence, courage, and encouragement. That's what she wrote. It's right there. And I love this word. I knew exactly what she meant, but she wrote encouragement, and I immediately adopted that word into my lexicon and put it into my imaginary David Roth digital dictionary, which you can access by enabling cookies, like on a computer, or by sending me cookies. I'll give you my address. And when I looked at this, if you look it up, it says encouragement, to have cooj. And what's cooj? Well, when I saw it, this is what I saw: courage without the rage. If you find that useful, please take that with you. I think there's a time and a place for all the things, all the gamut of emotions, and there is a time to have courage without the rage too. And maybe I can find a more harmonious meeting with somebody that I don't agree with if I can have the courage and hold off on the rage just right away. She continues, David Roth has been playing guitar and singing for over 20 years. It's 37 now. He's tall, skinny, and has gray hair. I'm amazed that even how old he is, he can still get all the high notes. So that's not exactly an exact introduction to this little medley here, which will wrap up my sermon in the song. But I must tell you how great it is to be back here and to finally meet you, Reverend Ben. And my friends John and James from Cape Cod, where I live now. Just don't see you enough. And Tim, all of you, too numerous to name. So it's a joy to be here. And this is a song that's 8 years old, although it sounds like I could have written it last Monday. And it bears repeating. I believe I sang this one in the pulpit 2 years ago here, but just like if I had a hammer, it feels like it's not done being sung yet. So I sing to you today and speak on behalf of the one human family, not all the little subdivisions, you know. For the last 4 years, Guadalupe checked in to the Phoenix office of immigration. Both of her kids, U.S. born. But everything changed the day they took her away. In the home of the brave, in the land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Guadalupe, you come for me. For the last 2 years, Kamal made his rounds. Interfaith Medical Center in New York City. He went to Sudan to visit his mom. But everything changed. He couldn't come back. He was stranded in the home of the brave, in this land of the free. We are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Kamal, you come for me. Give me your tired, your poor huddled masses. This is America, built by dreamers, yearning to breathe free. If I had to leave my country, what would I do? And if the way I dressed was a trigger for you, if I'm not welcome here, where will I go? Can I sail away on an unknown ocean of hope? In the home of the brave, in the land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Guadalupe, for Kamal, when you come for my neighbor, you come for me. Years ago, and counting. Now, this was written during the pandemic, and I think this is a good way to conclude. Living in Harmony, easier sung than done, because I have every confidence that you are going to embrace the first two words of this song to the depths of your being. Unlike any song, perhaps in your whole life, that you've ever heard before, you're going to love singing the first two words of this song, and we'll go from there. And thank you for your kind attention. I look forward to a cup of coffee by my music table in the coffee area. So come talk to me and let's figure this thing out, okay? I'm right. You're wrong. You're off. I'm on. This is my new theme song. I'm right. I'm correct. I'm sure. And you are insecure. My heart is pure. I'm right. I'm sure. Don't you bother contradicting me. You've got no leg to stand on. Where is it you come off with all these viewpoints that you land on? I'm yes. You're stop. Je suis vrai. To a foe, that's French. Now you know. And you know we're gonna get somewhere by being mad and vehement. A seismic shift is always made with words of disagreement. You're right. A lot softer. Thought I'd just try that on. How about a new song? No right, no wrong, no right.
We eat fruit from trees planted long before we were born. May we plant seeds that bear fruit long after we are gone. Here in the sanctuary, the offering will now be given and received.
I got one song ahead of myself there. How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? Given the chance, I'm gonna tell you how. How many ways can I give thanks for the blessings I have known? Oh, I got a list and I will tell you now. Grateful for each breath awake, grateful for each step I take, grateful that I'm here to play my part. Grateful for the morning sun, grateful that this day is done, grateful that I have you in my heart. How many ways can I give praises for all the gifts I have? Given the chance, I'm gonna shout out loud. Grateful for the universe, for the better and the worse. Grateful that this world keeps spinning round. Grateful for my memories, grateful for my hopes and dreams, grateful for the grace that I have found. How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? I am grateful now. I am grateful now. I am grateful now. I am grateful now.
We invite you all to follow along with the hand gestures. We got light of truth, warmth of love, and fire of courage. As Mike and maybe helpers are no longer here. As Mike extinguishes our chalice, now the words to our traditional chalice extinguishing are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of courage. These we carry in our hearts out into the world.
I stand for love, stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you. I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you. You know our world is in great pain. She needs our loving care again. But there are those who fail to see what we have done and what we need. There is a cost for every act Now there is no turning back. We burn a bridge, we bang a drum. It's time to rise, the time has come to stand for love, to stand for peace, to stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true, to stand for hope, to stand for you. And if you're thinking it's not urgent, that we've got more time to kill, if I'm not the one who will change things, then for heaven's sake, who will? So I will move, I will climb this mountain one step at a time. I won't be swayed, I will not stop until we've made it to the top, where we will stand for love and peace, will stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true, will stand for hope, will stand for you, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
Thank you, David Roth. Friends, our worship is over, but our service begins. Please join us for coffee hour in Gilmore Hall. David Roth will be at his table. Come back here at noon into the sanctuary if you want to hear a free class by me about the history and current practices of this church, the UU Church of St. Petersburg. We'll go to just before 2 o'clock. Now, we hope this time together will help you through your week and will help you remember that you are not alone. Final words, David?
From Dr. King, who said a mere 60 years ago, "One of the great liabilities of history is that all too many people fail to remain awake through great periods of social change. Every society has its protectors of status quo and its fraternities of the indifferent, who are notorious for sleeping through revolutions. Today, our very survival depends on our ability to stay awake, to adjust to new ideas, to remain vigilant, and to face the challenge of change."
Tim will play our postlude, but now please join me in thanking David Roth. David says, can he take a picture?